Adwa, a significant battle in history, heralding a turning point in the history of modern Africa. The victory of Adwa, 1896, strengthened Ethiopian image as a defender of African independence. It became an incentive for Africans around the world under the leadership of Menelik II and his strategic military and nation building tactics with his bold and aggressive wife Emperor Daitu. The Ethiopians launched a crushing defeat of the Europeans, particularly the Italians, who had waged war or conquest against them. The significance of the Battle of Adwa is that which demands a reappraisal with regards to African victory and ability to organize themselves without European initiatives. Ethiopian Emperor Menelik and his wife Empress Taitu led the successful campaign against invading Italian force, emerging conquering from the battle at Adwa in the northern part of the country. The victory of Adwa is a national holiday in Ethiopia observed on March 2nd. This day honors Ethiopian victory over Italy in 1896, securing Ethiopian sovereignty, as Ethiopia was the only African country that has never been colonized. On 2nd March 2020, hundreds of thousands of people gathered at Minilik Square in the center of Addis Ababa, Ethiopian capital, in the annual celebration of the country's National Adwa Victory Day. In addition to dashing the hopes of fascist Italy to capture and colonize the entire Horn of Africa region, the Adwa victory inspired a continent-wide movement of Pan-Africanism. It also paved the way to the organization of African Unity Bears, later to become African Union. The battle and the greater narrative of Ethiopian independence are powerful symbols of African resistance to people of multiple ethnic, cultural, and national groups, both on the continent and off it. To the Ethiopians, it gave them a new perspective and belief about the African strength and continent as a whole. It also gave the Europeans a new perspective to African people and their strengths. It has been noted that the heroic Ethiopian army at the Battle of Adwa in 1896 surprised and humiliated the members of European colonialists. They suddenly have to rethink their idea and policies about Africa being predominantly inhabited by primitive people that needed colonial rule in order to advance. To the Africans, the victory became a fountain of pride and inspiration to millions who cherish the Black heritage, to arouse his supporters against white racism in Jamaica and in United States in 1914 and 1917. The well-known African nationalist Marcus Garvey stressed heavily the Ethiopian victory against Italian aggression at the Battle of Adwa, using phrases such as Ethiopia, the land of our fathers. The legendary Garvey was able to consume his Back to African movement slogan. It's eminent to note that the battle has also contributed to history as it marks the victory of the Black African towards the European colonizers. It was a historic miracle of the century as it represented the beginning of European colonial expansion that the Black people had defeated the civilized and well-equipped Europeans. African Union officials says Adwa victory is the pride for the whole of Africa as the Battle of Adwa was the first Black people victory over highly armed Western colonizers, the Italians. It is important to note that the Battle of Adwa has a long-lasting effect of African countries, likewise on European nations. It deposits a long-lasting victory for Africans. The battle was a challenge to European imperial expansion. The various events leading eventually to the defeat of Italians signify how well Africans can organize themselves to mount and defense against external invasion. It exposes the ability of Africans to plan, organize, and execute without external force. Perhaps it is time for most African countries to review the Adwa battle as a reminder for their rise and strength, even in times of external and internal security issues.